Hola, hola, amigas. Welcome back to another episode of Modern Latina in Midlife. I have been meaning to record this episode all month, and I haven't. I feel like I have so much to talk about and so much to share, but yet I guess imposter syndrome is setting in. And uh, when I sit down to try to record something, nothing's quite coming out. And I've been kind of listening to some podcast episodes all day today. I went on a hike and all these things are coming to my head. And I'm like, why is it that I can think of these things now? But then when I sit down to do it, it's not coming up. So I kind of just quickly recorded some notes on my phone. And when I got home, I just got to writing and I'm like, okay, I've got 3 episodes, 3 topics I want to talk about. And so here I am. Okay, so this episode is about intention setting. I usually don't start the year off immediately with goals and resolutions and intention setting. I'm more in a hibernation mode at the beginning of the year. It's really more of a holiday burnout or a holiday hangover recovery time for me, to be completely honest. I find that the holidays can be very exhausting. And these past holidays, I was very fortunate to have a lot of events, friends' birthdays, dates to go on, time with family. And my son was home the last 2 weeks of December, which were the highlight of my holidays. But the holidays can be overwhelming emotionally, physically, and financially, even. So last year, I started the year off taking the whole first week off of January, and I took off with my sister to La Paz, Baja California, Mexico. We spent the whole first week of January at a yoga retreat center in La Paz. It was small and intimate, 12 rooms in a private, secluded beach, no Wi Fi, no phones, no TV, nothing but yoga, clean food, our journals, our books, sleeping in, reflection time, pool time, beach time, and it was fabulous. And we got, of course, we had our cocktails and our massages, and I even had my very first experience with cupping. I don't know if you've ever had that done, but I really enjoyed it, and I've had it done again. And the woman that gave me my massage happened to be a mujer medicina, which was amazing. Let me just say that it was one of the best massages of my life. I had made this appointment to get this massage, and my masseuse first took me into this like circular Zen like room to like ground and meditate first. And she asked me, and there was this candle right in the center, and she asked me to close my eyes so that she can meditate and prepare. And so I did the same. And of course, I couldn't help but to like open my eyes, like after a little while, like, what is she doing? Right. And I saw her making these very familiar hand movements. I don't know if this means anything to you, if anybody's watching on YouTube. Um, so basically it looked like it was pranic healing. And so when she was done, I asked her, hey, ¿estaba haciendo sanación pánica? Were you doing pranic healing on me? And she said, yes, I was. She was cleaning my energy and then throwing the bad energy into the candle flame, which is typical of pranic healing. And she said, in addition to being a pranic healer, I am also a mujer medicina. So it was, like I said, one of the best massages of my life, definitely the most memorable. But I digress. So this year, I wanted to start my year again, very similarly to last year. I wanted to take, if not the whole week, at least a few days off at the beginning of the year to just be by myself and reflect, start thinking about intentions for the new year. And I had planned to go to this little cabin in the mountains that my sister had told me about, but unfortunately, it wasn't available at the beginning of the year and it just didn't quite work out. So I still took a couple days off to be on my own and to reflect and do some yoga and just kind of start the year off really slowly. And that feels really good to me. I really enjoy this practice, and I intend to continue doing this for years to come. So every year, I tend to start getting more into the goal and intention setting mood right around the third week of January, which is right about now. Today is January 21st, 2023 at the time of this recording, which happens to be the new moon. And I just got the chills when I was writing some notes to prepare for this episode. And as I was preparing, I Googled the new moon date just to make sure that it was in fact today, which I already knew. It was like burned in my memory. I knew it. But this is some of the other um, search results that came up in my Google search. It said, the new moon will be the closest to the Earth on Saturday, January 21st, 2023, which is today. This rare incident is taking place for the first time after 993 years. Wow, that's amazing. And just to throw some more woo-woo in there for you, the four zodiac signs most affected by this new moon are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And I'm tempted to go down a whole rabbit hole here, but I'm going to restrain myself because I just want to get this episode out. And this episode is not about the new moon necessarily and all this woo woo stuff. So I'll keep on moving forward. The new moon is an excellent time to set new intentions. I love using the new moon for manifesting. Many like to do intention setting and manifesting with the full moon, and I love the full moon. But the full moon is more conducive to releasing what no longer serves us. And once that is released, 2 weeks later is a new moon. So then you can set new intentions for the next um for the next period. And usually the way that works, in astrology and in manifesting is like what you set your intentions for today, you'll probably start seeing in about 6 months. But anyhow, getting back to what this episode topic is, um I think that there is something energetic happening when we are in this hibernation mood through the first part of January. This is something that I have been feeling personally myself. And I know that I've shared this before on Instagram and shared this with friends before, but I'm hearing more and more people this year talk about that little phenomenon. Like the first few weeks are just kind of for hibernating. And then we don't actually get into like this intention setting mood until about this third week of January. For me specifically, when I get more into intention setting, could it potentially be correlated with the new moon? Maybe. I looked up the new moons in January for the last 5 years, and they all kind of tend to be towards the end of January. So I wonder if there's something energetically happening with that. So going back to goal setting, I am a hardcore goal setter. I love it. I have since I was in my early 20s. I enjoy starting the year off with reflection and goal setting. I've moved more towards intention setting as I've gotten older, and I'd like to think wiser. Goal setting feels more of a masculine energy to me, whereas intention setting feels more like a feminine energy to me. It feels a little bit more flexible. It feels like it has more movement. It feels good and it lands really well on my body. So I like intention setting more than goal setting. Um, I know we don't need a new year, new me. This isn't what this is about. For me, it's just the new year is just kind of a good point, a good landmark, a good point in the year to make that reflection, to express gratitude and adjust so I can continue my own personal development and become a better person and continue living my best life. It could be done any time of the year. It could be your birthday, it could be the summer solstice, winter solstice, or every fall or every quarter. Whatever works for you, but for me, I definitely like to do that sometime in January. So this year, I want to do things just a little differently. I've been listening to podcasts and I've heard a few things that really caught my attention and I want to share with you. Rather than just going down the list of intentions I set a year ago and comparing how close I got to those by the end of the year, I'm going to ask myself 4 questions and journal about them. And I invite you to do the same if you'd like, or share with me what your New Year rituals are and if you engage in anything like this. But before I share these 4 questions with you, if you have a podcast idea in your mind that you've been wanting to bring to life into the world, this little message is for you. This episode is sponsored by the Podcast Launch Accelerator online course. This is a step-by-step guide to launching your podcast in 30 days. I know you have a message inside of you that you want to share with the world, especially if you're a coach, a therapist, or a healer. You have medicine to share. And guess what? Your audience, your ideal client, is waiting to hear from you. I promise. I know from working with many clients that you are starved for time with a million tasks tugging at you, and you also want to be sure to be present and spend quality time with your family and your loved ones. Between these time challenges and the learning curve involved with learning to use all the equipment and software, you find yourself adding your podcast launch to your New Year goals every single year. That's why I created the Podcast Launch Accelerator online course. You gain immediate access to on-demand videos accessible anytime, anywhere. It's set up to get your podcast launched in 30 days. Get this item checked off of your 2023 intentions once and for all so you can focus on the rest of the things you want to do this year. It's currently available at a steal at only $45, which is 52% off the regular price. But don't wait too long because this early bird pricing will expire on January 29th, 2023, and then it's going to go up to the regular price. It is linked in the show notes or by visiting www.soniasdesk.com. So here are the 4 questions I'm asking myself and working through tonight. Number 1, what am I leaving behind? I actually like to do this little ritual on New Year's Eve. I've been doing it for several years now. I write on a piece of paper all the things, people, and circumstances that I want to leave behind in the year. And I burn it in a fire pit in the backyard or in the fireplace. It's just something that I do every New Year's Eve, and it's just become a habit, and I love to do that. It's just a little fun little ritual. Number 2, what am I most grateful for from 2022? To truly get into the spirit, I'm doing this little exercise that I'm going to share with you, and I invite you to do it as well if you'd like. First, I'm going to list the top 10 things that happened for me last year. Events, activities, accomplishments, happy moments, etc. So go through your calendar, your journals, whatever you have available to you where you could go back and recollect those events and activities and moments that make your top 10 of 2022. I think this is genius. I heard it in a podcast and I just absolutely loved it. And I thought, wow, what a great idea. And then write down who were the people involved in those top 10 things. I just love this so much. I haven't done this exercise yet. I'm going to do it tonight. And I'm going to take in the energy of the new moon with my crystals and my tea and my warm blanket. I'm even going to get the fireplace going. And I'm going to just make a list of these people that were a part of my top 10 of 2022. And then I'm going to reach out. The next step is reach out to each one of them and show them appreciation. Let them know that they made a very special impact in my life in 2022 because of these moments and activities or achievements that I was blessed with. And how special does this feel? I just absolutely am enjoying this little exercise. Number 3, question that I'm going to ask myself is, what am I bringing with me to 2023? This is where I'm going to start to set intentions for the year. I'm going to write down some intentions according to those special moments for my gratitude list for my top 10 and decide what I want to bring more of into 2023, just like that. Those are the things that spark joy in my life, that raised my vibration. So I want more of that. The more we are in high vibe, the more we are in a frequency that allows us to manifest the things and memories and experiences that we truly desire. And again, maybe I'm getting a little too woo woo for some, but I love manifestation and I'm going to talk about that um, either in my next episode or the one right after. But I love being in high vibe and this a higher frequency because then it allows me to up level myself. So that is harnessing the highest energy moments of 2022 in this situation. As I'm writing about it and as I'm thinking back on those wonderful memories and bringing in those people, I'm harnessing that energy and I'm going to revel in that energy and use that to write my intentions and then for this year and visualize those coming to life. You follow me here, or is this getting too crazy for you? Okay, so question number 4. What do I want to introduce in 2023? At this point, I may have already set some intentions from the past question, but this question will help me ponder further. What are some new things I want to try or introduce? Is there something fun I've been wanting to try? For example, I took golf lessons for a year. My last golf lesson was about a year ago, and my coach told me he would no longer coach me until I went out and played. Here's the thing, I have no one to play golf with. And yes, I've been told I can play solo, and I know, and I have tried, but it's intimidating. The couple of times that I've tried playing solo after my golf lessons, the experienced players behind me were on my tail, yelling at me and telling me to get moving. Yes, they were men. How did you guess? So I just don't want to have that experience again. So, one of the intentions for this year is going to be to introduce more golf games into my schedule. And I do have my first golf date tomorrow, by the way. So, I'm super excited about that. Maybe I'll share more about that in another episode. So, there it is. My new year, no new me. It's really just an improvement, wiser version of the same Sonia. But now I'm in midlife. So now at the end of every episode, I like to share what I'm loving these days, whether it's a product, a book, a podcast, skincare, anything I've been obsessing over lately. And I want to share that with you because, sharing is caring. And I have to say, my latest fun little toy, I know I'm not talking about that kind of toy, okay? Although we could probably talk about that in another episode. Oh, and I think I have the perfect person in mind for that. Okay, anyhow, going back to my current little toy is my current little obsession right now is the Apple Watch. I finally have one on my wrist and only because it was free with my most recent iPhone purchase. I'm keeping tabs on my pros and cons of the Apple Watch. So I can share that later. But one of the things that I'm already loving, and this is my third day. Yeah, I think this is my second or third day using it. What I'm already loving is that it reminds me to stand up once an hour. I have high blood pressure, which is something I'm setting an intention around this year. But due to this high blood pressure, my ankles swell at night. The longer I sit or stand still in one place, the worse the swelling. I try to get up and walk around at least once an hour. Well, this little watch has been reminding me to stand up every hour. And I have listened. And I tell you, for the last 2 days, my swelling has been considerably less than usual. And I'm super stoked for that. So I'm going to keep trying this out and see if this is really what's creating it. And so yeah, that's my latest obsession. I'm still learning how to use it. It is a learning curve, let's just say. Bueno, amigas, please share with me what your New Year rituals are, if you have any, over on Instagram at Modern Latina in Midlife. Let me know if you try these little exercises that I've shared, especially that top 10 moments of 2022. Oh, I just can't wait to do that. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with your primas and your amigas. Please rate and review on your favorite podcast player so we can continue expanding the Latina voices and talking about the things that matter to us the most as modern Latinas in midlife. Hasta la próxima, amigas.